So for me, when I think about strategic communication, it's really all about how we can make our communication smart. And for many of us, this means retraining ourselves and moving away from the idea that outreach is a meeting or a poster at the tail end of a project to communication that is integrated into projects upfront, communication that is smart and deliberate, and communication that is informed by research. One of the main reasons it's important to be smarter with our communication is information overload. People are increasingly bombarded with information, too much information to be able to absorb and process. So much of it is simply just lost. Recent studies in the US, for example, show that an average American is inundated with as many as 30,000 messages a day, and a whopping 5,000 of those are ads. Another big challenge to our work is that it's difficult to influence people's behaviors. Getting people to change is really difficult. Traditional outreach programs often focus on providing knowledge or information to the public in the hope that it'll lead to behavior change. But 30 years of research have shown that information alone is not enough to spur behavior change. That's why we need strategic communication, the purposeful use of communication to achieve a specific goal. It's about getting the right message to the right person or audience at the right time through the right tactic to achieve a goal. It helps us be thoughtful and deliberate in how we communicate so our messages stand out rather than become part of this information clutter. And helps us hone in on our goal, which in many cases is about motivating people to act. Strategic communication can be used to build support for a specific action or policy, raise awareness, change public policy, influence behavior, as we already mentioned, impact public opinion, and strengthen relationships. It helps you achieve clarity on where you want to go, so your goal, and focus and control on how you get there. Helps you manage time and prioritize limited resources. And then, of course, helps you make your communication reach and impact more effective. Here's a taste of what the strategic communication planning process can look like. You begin, like many planning processes, by establishing your goal. What is it you're trying to achieve? And your objectives or your steps to get there. Next, you assess your resources and assets, clarify what conversations are happening about your topic, and identify places where you can leverage opportunities and mitigate challenges. Next, you identify your target audience. Who is it you need to reach, convince, motivate to act in order to achieve your goal? Once you know who that person or group is, you learn about them and you craft messages that speak directly to them, messages that resonate with your audience. Then you decide what tactics or communication channels work best to connect your audience with your message and motivate them to act. For each tactic, you should develop a way to measure it so you'll know if it's working. You also need to develop project measures so you'll know if you're making progress towards your goal. Once you've done all that planning, then you can get started and implement your project or campaign. Our communication planning module on reefresilience.org is based on this planning process. So as a reminder, you navigate to science and strategies, key topics, then communication. Within this module, you'll find information on how and when to use social marketing, guidance on how to facilitate meetings, talking points to help communicate effectively about key topics related to our work as marine managers, and then, of course, the communication planning process. I just wanted to make you aware of these other resources that are available. So in this section, we really work to demystify strategic communication and simplify the planning process so that you can work on your own project as you learn. You can see by the table or the menu on the left, each step of the planning process has its own section with streamlined content, quizzes, worksheets, and links to additional resources. So we have the quizzes there to help reinforce key points, worksheets with very detailed instructions and guidance to help walk you through it and apply what you learned to your own project, and then resources if you want to dive a little bit deeper and learn more.